In this tutorial, we're going to continue to work with our AJAX returned data and make it look a little bit better by manipulating and assigning cascading style sheet rules. So what we see right now is our text is, well, it's kind of big, and our blog entry here is kind of small. We're going to need to take a little bit more fine control over what's going on in the CSS. So let's go ahead and jump over into Dreamweaver and start working with our CSS here. Now, we have our body declaration. We have got header. I'm scrolling down here to show that our sidebar and so forth. And we want to take a little bit more control here over what was created. Now, to see what was actually created here, we need to open our processor for the get blog entries. Now, we did take a look at this earlier. I did say that we would take a look at it again. And what we're looking for is the PHP generated HTML. We see that we have each entry being placed inside of a div with a class of inspectable. So we're going to need to set up a class for inspectable. We also see that we've got another class down here called category links that we're going to need to set up as well. Alright, so let's jump over into our CSS, and we're going to set up our styles for inspectable, as well as the H2 inside of inspectable, and then the category links here. Alright, so I'm going to jump all the way down here to the bottom. I'll put in inspectable. The first thing that I want to do here is I want to set the font size. I'm going to set the font size pretty small. I'm doing this on purpose because later on we're going to make it so that people can interact with this and make the entry grow a bit so they can read it a little easier. So I'm setting the font size to 8 pixels. I'm also going to put a border on this as well as manipulate the padding, margin, background color, and cursor effect. So the border here I'll just set up as a standard 1 pix black solid. And then I'll go ahead and put padding on. I don't want any padding on the top, so I'll say 0 pix. And then I want 10 the rest of the way around. And then for margin, I'm going to want margin of 10 all the way around. For background color, I'm going to go with a nice gray color, light gray. And then I'm going to set up the cursor to be a pointer to indicate that people can interact with it. Of course, we're going to set up our interaction in just a little bit, but this is preparing it. It's also going to make it look a little bit better in terms of spacing all the way around. Next, I'm going to set up the H2 tag inside of inspectable. I'll set up my hierarchy here. And for this, I'm just going to adjust the margins. So I'll do margin top of 5px, and then margin bottom of 0px. And then the last CSS manipulation I'll do for now is the category links. Now the category links were set up as div tags, but we actually want them to show up as inline elements. So I'm going to change the display to inline. I'm going to change their color to be green. And I'll change the cursor to show up as being a pointer to show that they are interactive. Now actually, because the category links are inside of the inspectable, this cursor pointer isn't fully necessary, but I'm putting it there anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and save that and upload, and I'll refresh. And my inspectable does take on its own little size alteration. Now we're going to end up working a bit more, adjusting other elements as we need to, but for now our size is just fine with our blog contents. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump back into Dreamweaver, and that concludes this tutorial on changing some of the cascading style sheet properties for returned results from Ajax.